Welcome to Rebecca Sounds Reveille. I'm excited about this episode because today we're going to be talking about the launch of a new site and something that is going to end up becoming globally a very unique thing. And with us today is going to be the founder of the Liberty Beacon, Roger Landry, the founder of TLBTV, and he is an incredible man who has written thousands of articles on a number of things from geoengineering to vaccines to many, many more. We're going to talk to him about some of those things as well as what TLB, the Liberty Beacon, is getting ready to do. Welcome to the show, Roger.
And how are you, Rebecca?
I'm doing very well. How are you today?
Well, I'm excited. I don't know if you want to announce it or if you want me to, but if you wish to, please go right ahead, because this, in my eyes, is a milestone in the project.
It is a milestone in the project, but let's first, before we even talk about what's new and exciting with TLB, let's talk about how it started and maybe even where it's going, so that at the juncture that we're going to present today, our audience is going to be able to really see the progress and know that there is no end result, because things are always in the works to become better and better and better, but one of our long-term goals.
Well, things are always in flux, as you say. And even when something is good, there's always ways to make it better. There's ways to make it more beneficial. There's ways to make it more sharing, so on and so forth. So very good point. Where did we start? I think everybody knows, because I've probably told the story 10,000 times by this point, that I used to work for the military-industrial complex. I used to be in the military, actually 8 years active duty on nuclear submarines.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, and thank you for yours.
Thank you.
Marine vet. But anyway, what I did was, as soon as I got out of the service, I went to work for the military-industrial complex. I was the neocon of neocons. When there was a neocon party, there was usually a picture of me hanging in it somewhere. So all of a sudden, I have a friend who comes over, sits down with me, and takes me through about 6 hours of, for such a smart person, Roger, you really don't know very much. You're ignorant. That's where the word ignorance first came in. He was smart enough not to call me stupid, because he knew I wasn't stupid, but he knew that I had been programmed with so much information that it left a blatant ignorance where the truth should sit. So that was the actual founding of the Liberty Beacon Project. I went through a week of pure hell, whereby I wanted to prove to myself that all the things he had showed me over the 6-hour period had validity to them, that this was actually true, because I really couldn't believe this. So I did a week of massive research. And then I went out for the first time to the local pub, which I was quite a fixture at. Loved to shoot pool, loved to throw darts. And I walked in and sat down, and 15 minutes later, one of my very, very lovely friends, Alicia, walks up to me and says, "You've changed. What happened to you?" I wasn't the same person. I had seen my beliefs for 2 generations, 40 years, literally ripped out from under me. Everything I thought I knew, everything that I believed, or at least a large portion of, maybe not everything, had turned out to be based on falsities. But yet these were falsities that you read in the newspaper. These were falsities that you watched on fake news, CNN,
Right.
MSNBC, so on and so forth. These were falsities that we were being given on a daily basis via all sorts of mainstream media that surround us daily. So it hit me. The whole freaking world is suffering from programmed ignorance. If I was going to do one thing, if I could do one thing to benefit humanity, it's not to solve all the problems. It's not to step up and take ownership of everything that's gone wrong, although we the people should be doing that because we're by far the biggest blame for what we've allowed to happen. It's, look, we need to eradicate all of this programmed ignorance. This is what I felt my mission was. It hit me. It literally hit me as hard as realizing that I had based all of my beliefs on misconceptions. But misconceptions that have been fed to me intentionally. So, what's the name of my radio show, Rebecca?
Eradicating Programmed Ignorance.
What is the entire mission statement of the Liberty Beacon Project, Rebecca?
To eradicate programmed ignorance.
That was the beginning of the Liberty Beacon Project and our mission to eradicate programmed ignorance. Look, we don't have to solve your problems. We don't have to make your government more responsive. We don't have to take the vaccines out of the doctor's hands as he's about to stick them into your child. We don't have to grab that food out of your grocery cart, okay, when you're shopping because it's chock full of MSGs, and all kinds of poisons. We don't have to do that. If we can show you the deficit in your knowledge, if we can show you you're not stupid, but by God, are you ignorant? Americans, go ahead.
And there's just a huge difference in that. And a lot of people don't realize that there is such a big difference in stupidity and being ignorant. And being ignorant is simply not knowing. It's very simple.
Or ignorance is programmed. In other words, you feel you know the way the world is working. You feel you know the way your government is reacting. You feel you know the way your government is serving. You feel you know that your doctor has all the information he needs to keep your child safe. You feel you know this because you have been told this. So the ignorance is not so much in the fact that you're not willing to learn. It's what are you learning and why or how is it being presented to you? I'll tell you something. I'm not a huge Trump fan. Although I am a Trump fan on some levels. I mean, some of the things this guy's doing are absolutely blowing my mind. I am not a huge fan of any politician, period. Right? They have to prove themselves. To the American people, it should be, we will put you in office under trust, but you must prove yourself. This is where it drops off. We put them in under trust, and the proving never happens. Have I got this wrong?
Well, no, I completely understand that. And this is where it is the mission statement of the project, what you have in eradicating programmed ignorance, and that is whatever issues that you're seeing come to fruition, whatever it is. And it doesn't matter where you find it. Investigate further. Do the research on this because there is more. It's just not always being put out there at face value. In fact, a lot of it's being hidden because there's a lot of people who like to make a lot of money. And there's also something even bigger than that in different types of control. So this is huge.
Lie by omission, which a lot of the ignorance we suffer are lies by omission. I will tell you half of the story, and it's all true, which gives me credibility. But there's a few key events or a few key situations that I'm not going to tell you about, which changes the entire scenario, the entire, I don't know, makeup of what you just told me. Those are lies by omission, and they are more damaging than a bold-faced lie, because a bold-faced lie is easily uncovered. A lie by omission requires a lot of digging.
Yes, and not only that, but it leaves this, it leaves for speculation and implication of things that may not exist, or that are so extreme that it causes fear and panic, and it creates distension and things like that. So when you created the project, Roger, what was the very first thing you did to get this moving?
The very first thing I did. We didn't have a website. We didn't even have a Facebook group. we just had a bunch of people that were talking on Skype and otherwise. And I decided I was going to start a Facebook group. Now, originally the project was called We the People Network, WTPN. That was instruction time. That was learning how to do things. And all of the mistakes we made, we rolled the project into our very first TLB, or the Liberty Beacon, Facebook group, after about 6 months of realizing what we weren't doing right with WTPN. Then what did I do? What did I do to start spreading the word? Don't ask me why. I haven't got a clue, and I don't even want to speculate, but I had, at the time, and I was fairly new on Facebook, about 3,800 friends.
Okay.
And I contacted every single one of them with a full-blown, I mean, at least 2,000-word explanation of what the Liberty Beacon Project was, what programmed ignorance was, and why their input would be valuable. Mm-hmm. That group grew to 2,600 in a little over a week, and topped off at 5,000 in less than a month after that. Those were the first 5,000 people to support the Liberty Beacon Project, and it has grown, as you know, in magnitude since then, because we have global websites, many of them. We have partner websites. We have the TLBTV network. So from one Facebook group, literally 5 years ago, to today, whereby, and again, you know what I'm about to say. I don't dare anybody challenge anybody to prove what I'm about to say. I dare you to prove it, okay? The Liberty Beacon Project is the largest, totally unfunded, totally, everybody here is a volunteer organization with this much reach on the planet. Why don't you hear a lot more of us? Because we don't spend $10 million each year advertising. How do we advertise? We put our articles out. What does that do? It says, my God, I didn't know that. Where did this come from? Oh, this came from the Liberty Beacon. They're coming to see us.
They are. And the audience, both on television and as well as from the articles, is just increasing constantly. But this isn't where we're going to stop. We've got lots of goals ahead. And the goal is to be the #1 independent global media on the planet.
The most watched, most listened to independent media source on the planet. And there are several mechanisms in play that we cannot discuss on this show, but we can give a few teasers. Absolutely. There are several mechanisms in play. And again, I'm going to say something that's going to blow your mind. Believe me, I know of what I speak. We've been planning this for 5 years, okay? One of the projects we're working on right now, 1 year after launch date, has the ability to bring in excess of $100 million a year into this project. Now, Rebecca, you know it's not a joke because you know every fine detail of this. Within 2 to 3 years, we're looking at $250 million or more. This is not smoke and mirrors. And this is not corporate money. We don't owe him for nothing. We don't owe him for nothing. We will have 100% control of this project. Maybe not 100%, but never less than 75% of this project, which gives us total control.
Yes.
Now, this is a reality. Rebecca just got done telling everybody that our mission, our goal is to become the largest independent media source on the planet.
Yes.
You can't do that with a totally volunteer staff. And right now we have a $0 budget with this huge project. Everybody is phenomenal in this project. They donate time, they donate talent, they donate money. If we need to buy something, everybody pitches in a little bit and we end up by getting it. But you cannot build the biggest and most watched independent news source on the planet in that fashion. This is phase 2, actually phase 3, and I'm loving it.
I'm loving it too, and I'm loving the announcement that you're about to make with the TV network.
Well, for anybody who hasn't been watching the TLB stuff that's being passed around, and quite a bit gets passed around Facebook, or if you're not on Facebook, we are in the process of launching today, TLBTV.com. Gone are the days where we've got to share space on the Liberty Beacon. Gone are the days where we have to supplant other good articles on the Liberty Beacon, our flagship site, with our media. Not to say the media isn't every bit as good, but it does detract. So now we are about to launch an absolutely beautiful, fully functional website called TLBTV.com. We've already moved a lot of our shows over there. I did that personally. You want to talk about monkey work? Oh my God, I felt like scratching my armpits and eating a banana when I was done with that. I literally put well over 100 articles to populate, or TV shows to populate this new website. It also has a landing page or a home page for each individual host. So they have the choice. They can either give people the link directly to the home page, or they can give them the link to their host landing page, and it takes them straight there. So
I love it.
Go ahead.
I love it. I'm super excited about that. And I am also excited to share that the Liberty Beacon television network is always looking for new show hosts to promote the eradication of programmed ignorance and to share research, to share news that people need to know.
Let me throw something in there, because you always you always spark such phenomenal things in my brain. I wonder how I get along when I'm not talking to you. But if you stop to consider, okay, everybody out there has a story, but you're the last person on the planet who thinks, in a vast majority of the cases, that your story is worth telling. Okay? But your experiences are different than mine. My experiences are different than yours, Rebecca, so on and so forth. How do you see what's going on in America today? How do you see it? I'll bet you it's not the way I see it. I'll bet you it's not the way Rebecca sees it. But if you have been watching or reading stuff from the Liberty Beacon, there are a million questions in your head right now. You're the perfect host. You are.
Yes.
Why? Because you're dangling on that fence post. This is where I came from and what I based everything and I believe on, and this is what I'm finding out to be the truth. Nobody's going to put it forward better than you are. So if you are sitting there going, I've got a lot to say, but I don't know if my story is worth listening to, try.
Yes.
Come on as a guest. If you want, say, hey, Rebecca, write to Rebecca and say, let me guest on your show, and you can analyze what I need to be a good host, or tell me if I'm ready to be a good host. And you know what? Rebecca will do that. I'll take you on my show to do that, and so will some of the other hosts. What you just may find out is you're the damn host we've been looking for.
Exactly. Exactly. And we want to grow. We want to grow. And it takes all of those out there who have information that hasn't been able to get promoted correctly. And either via contributing articles or having your own show. There's lots of different ways to dispel propaganda and promote truth. And really that is what we need to do, is bring the truth out. Let's show what's real. And while there still is sometimes varying opinions, the more that we're in doing research together on different things and maintaining an opportunity to see things that are going on and dig into things that have been, we're going to really be able to establish the true basis of the different topics that we have.
I really like simplifying things. Let me make this as easy for everybody listening to as possible. And again, I never waste words. If I say it, I mean it. We're not looking for stars. We're looking to make stars.
Yes.
We don't want the retreads. We don't want people that spent their life telling the fake news are going to come over here just because everybody knows their name and figure all of a sudden you've got a trust factor. We don't want them. We don't. We want people, very few or nobody has ever heard of, and they bust on the scene and people go, oh my God, where the hell did he come from? That's good. We don't
Yes.
want stars. We want to make stars. Is that right, Rebecca?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's 100% correct. And we want the truth out there. So I know that, Roger, you're a very busy man and you spend a lot of hours every day sleeping, maybe 4 hours a night, with the amount of task that you have. Um, we also want to encourage those in the audience who would like to utilize some of their talents and skills to the project. We'd love to have you on board, and as we grow, so will you. And this is something we extend to you to become part of the TLB family. We definitely want you to be a contributor, a show host, or anything else that would be an asset to help the project grow. And again, I know, Roger, that you're a very busy man. Again, sleeping only a few hours a night because you dedicate every part of your life into getting the project out there and known and making sure that everyone is getting their things done masterfully, whether it's an article or a show. And you are the man who has founded it. You're behind the scenes and you're also in front of the scenes. But most of all, you stand beside every one of us here in the project. And I want to thank you for that.
You had to bring that up. My favorite meme, the sign of true leadership is in those you choose to stand beside you, not behind you. If, and you can talk to any one of the officers in this project, okay? If I have to turn around to talk to you, you're no better with me and the Liberty Beacon Project than you are with any tyrant out there, because it's my ego you're feeding. But if I have to turn to the left or the right and we're locking arms and we're all marching forward, there ain't a damn thing we can't do. Nothing.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much for all you do, Roger, and for taking a few minutes out of your schedule today so that we could share with our viewers the new phase that we are moving into with our project.
And the launch today, and you will find all the links and everything you need in the article that accompanies this show, or that the show is embedded in, the launch of TLBTV.com.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, Rebecca. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. I know that the regularly scheduled show is a little bit longer than today, but this really is something that is important because I don't think everyone has an idea at how much is put into this project and where we're headed. And we really do appreciate your viewership, for you sharing the information that we get out to you, whether it's a TV show or an article. And we would like to encourage you to become part of our TLB family. Thank you so much for tuning in.